Oh yeah, welcome to another episode of Abbey of the Lemur. Oh, crap. Well, it seems it's not running real heavily in the government or the military or anything like that, but it seems as though more and more people are finally acknowledging the fact that there was a separate race of human beings that came into existence right around the time of World War II. I think most of them cropped up around New Mexico, and a lot of that could, of course, have been because of the atomic testing. And if you want to look, I think that particular race of people just kind of proliferated between the 40s and the 50s before people finally realized there was something going on and decided to snuff them all out. You know, I've heard a lot of stuff about how a lot of the kind of mixed races of people like the Melungeons and the Kallikaks and whatnot were kind of targeted by the eugenics crowd and real nasty business. You know, they took all these people, doctored up pictures of them so they looked like they were cavemen or whatever, and you know, just basically hounded those people out of existence. And you know, the government's really not owning up to any of that kind of activity as far as this particular race of people went. But if you ever knew any of them or saw any pictures of them, and unfortunately, you know, these people's pictures were not doctored. Just literally children of the atom, I guess you could say.
Good morning, I'm Burton Jones, and I'm here to talk to you about petunias and canned chili. You know, ever since Superman defeated the communists, which we talked about in last time's installment, you know, a lot of things have happened on the world stage, such as Cubism, and anyhow, we'd like to say a few words about that, and perhaps earwax. And you know, kids, you need to be safe when building those forest fires so you don't get caught and get your ass stomped by Smokey Bear. And so anyway, back in the days when I was in my bisexual phase and was dating Betty Crocker, we used to hang out with Salvador Dali, and we would be hanging around painting lampshades. And it was just the coolest thing, like watching paint dry. And it was absolutely fantabulous, you know what I mean? But I soon grew weary of it. I broke up with Betty and moved on to bigger and better things like, you know, repelling the Empire State Building. And I know some of you kids out there, some of you wise-asses out there don't think that Burton Jones really repelled the Empire State Building, but doom on you, cause it's true. Doom on you, cause it's true. And so anyway, but it was soon after that I was elevated to Imperial Banana Goddess and the Grand Emperor of Pancakes. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about entrails. You know, you're lucky you've got them. Entrails. You better thank God for your entrails, because where would you be without them? All those guts stuffed up inside of you, where would you be without them? You think you're so smart, you kids, with your tennis shoes and your brain cells and all of that, but, you know, you better be on your knees thanking God Almighty for your guts. And anyway, that reminds me, back in World War II when I was stranded in the Philippines with nothing but a box of matches, and anyway, no, we won't go into that. It's just unpleasant memories. So, let's talk about my past life as a medieval cowherd and gaucho. And anyway, Vercingetorix Jones wasn't Vercingetorix Jones back then, but I liked to grow violets, and I had to milk cows for a living, and I had to pitch afterbirth and all that stuff. I was pitching the afterbirth, and so boom, and then the Enola Gay dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and cows. And so anyway, do you know how many udders a cow has? I bet you do, because you're like smart and all that shit. I hate smart people. I hate smart people. I hate smart people.
I'm perfectly happy working, living in my own home, my best friend and lover by my side. Now this disease has hit me smack in the back of the head, and my life is crumbling before my eyes. Everything that means something to me is now gone. I can't work anymore, so here I sit worrying, how will I pay the rent, pay the bills, go to the doctor, or even feed the two of us? Now my home is gone, so I sit worrying about how will I be able to put a roof over our heads, knowing I'm helpless to do anything. Now he's left and all my self-worth has gone with him, because I will never know if it was because I wasn't able to keep my promise to take care of him, because he was just a poisonous smiling snake. I find out what friendship really means to some people. It means that they are happy to chat and sympathize with you about your problems, but when it comes right down to it, they aren't willing to even make a phone call on your behalf, let alone offer to share, even for a moment, something that could mean so much to another. I find that too many liked me just because I bought things when they wanted them, and yet none are willing to give me something so simple as a warm place to sleep, or food when I haven't eaten in days, or even come to sit, hold my hand as I'm wishing I could just die.
Oh, shit. I wonder if anybody fucking called.
Message 1.
I decided when I die, I want my body taken to a public place and blown up with dynamite. And just, hopefully my innards will, hit parked cars and, ruin them and stuff like that. I just gave it some thought. I think that'd be a cool way to go out. Anyway, just thinking out loud.
9:06 p.m. Saturday. End of messages.
A lot of their faces were just kind of distorted. They did have the kind of low foreheads, a lot of them, and the protruding brow, would you say? I don't know, just kind of slow-browed people, and their noses and mouths were all kind of fucked up, and they had all kinds of problems. A lot of the time they were hard to understand. I know a lot of people who went through the belief that a lot of them were retarded, or a lot of them were just stupid and incapable of really learning the way most of us learn. They were actually intelligent people, and a lot of the time you couldn't understand what they were saying. It wasn't like they developed their own language, they spoke English, but at least the ones here in America, I don't know, what happened with that particular race in other countries, but they just kind of had this sort of pidgin English going, and most of them couldn't use their vocal cords very well, and they just kind of talked like, they just jabbered. They were almost, they just kind of jabbered, kind of spoke their own deranged form of English. A lot of them did have kind of natural technological savvy. They didn't know what to do with it. For the most part, you had a lot of these people who were just, I don't know, a lot of these folks were Well, they were deformed. You know, what can you say? It was the nuclear testing and everything else that came out deformed. They were their own separate race of people that came out. They were deformed. You know, people that had like arms missing. And you see sometimes even some of the younger kids just sitting there with like little soldering guns, taking a bunch of metal rods and pulleys and whatever, trying to solder them on, create like an artificial arm. It didn't always work out the way it should. I mean, they did have an amount of technological savvy, but it didn't always work out the way it should have.
It's a new craze. It's out there. It's crazy. It's sexy. It's hot. That's right. I'm talking about the burn victim look. That's right. Singed hair, blistering skin, charred flesh. It's the greatest thing. It's wonderful. Everybody is into it. But how can you be part of it? What can you do to get that burn victim look? Well, the first thing you need to do is go down and open up the hood of that car and pop those caps off of your battery. I want you to pop it off, and I want you to dump it on your face. Make sure you're wearing some goggles. You're gonna blister, you're gonna burn, but the more the better, the sexier. If it eats away your gums and you have exposed teeth, that is exactly the look that you're looking for. If it burns your hair off to where it won't grow back, that is exactly what you're looking for. You will be the talk of the town. You will be going to the finest restaurants in Fayetteville. You'll be going to the finest restaurants in New York with bandages, and you can even burn yourself very badly. You can set yourself on fire. You can pull those bandages off, and it can be like a striptease.
I hate smart people, and so poke. And anyway, there's I keep my youthful looks through spaniel lotion. And we talked about that last time, but I've discovered something else. You can also make lotion out of stomped chihuahuas. And you take it, and you can make this lotion out of them. And you'll have to pardon me, but I've had a little bit too much to drink in terms of canned chili. And the canned chili just keeps me going. Your guts, buddy. You better be on your knees thanking God Almighty for your guts. Because chrome. Because we're gonna, we took somebody out in the woods and we painted them entirely in chrome and they died. Yeah, it could happen to you. Probably not, but it could. And so you take chihuahuas and you take the resulting paste and you smear it on your skin. You'll be looking 30 years younger before you know it. And so let's talk about my navel and what might be in it or behind it.
ETW 387 YEGWQ8R7 YE3GR87 QWGHDFOSEIUFRGH Hawkin D Hawkin D Hawkin DFDHB DHCFIJDOIPFUGDHFP 980 7YE098 4573 7RHUOGH fuck you Fayetteville 87 EYWRGOFYUGHD 087 FYEW 0987RHYDSFIUHDSFIUH your sorority daughter fucks pigs 980 7 ERFGOIDFYUSA overthrows the Bush administration GOYSDFGAOSFI7YYEOF7HG DASOFF74856009YFHIAFBHUS fuck your Grammy Nightly MBV MNBCVZX Z Bush supporters smoke the ventilated meat pipe. BJHDNDB XCJHS Dickory Doof Safia Hedgeness OFWR0EFU0E98UYG84HJUDNJKSFGHSUGBNB. Your cunts are bleeding now. 3QYGASHYFGBHFBACI7 GHP and a bag of chips. Vehicle loaf du la la Heineken VBN XBF8HF 47P5 BHUWH9 4 9HUFE9 Fridge VJDBKVCBUR09 UFWH P9VHRWV9HVP. They're called coyotes, you fucking city boy. 479HFWVGBNHF897944HVDBKVHBLKHG4 8998 VBNVCB Stoya for Toya HFXXVCV XBGXI8 Dxcax Bzooxxi Dibeti Blue My load on Laura Bush's tits for the hell of it. BVVKJVs Xaoya 893457 FHJFOBHYD 94CYBYX Cibix Nimblink Cibix dot Cibix cunt Hawking the ancient matrix Cibix Nimbelinks off with his head. He's the president. Pesky Unschweden Hyazen Ra Cibix Ronks Kfalanix Duon Vogan Disguise in Cibix USA Cibix USS of they confound our speech. Even the rats are prodigies. Smell the zooxyl red tide vagina zigzag kank pungent riptide kank cibix wix cibix rank pungent riptide cibix wix pricks dix chicks tricks renalfix primus cibix 2v viewer. I am having my way with you cibix indeed. Cibix 44 69 71 90 Cibix bang Cibix Wix P Avenue Bombardier yeah Cibix
The whole fucking world smokes the ventilated meat pipe.
It's like, I think a good deal of what you saw was they'd be cordoned off to reservations and killed, or if not killed, at least then marginalized and, I don't know, cut off. We used to have a few of them in my neighborhood back when I was a little kid, and they'd have like 3 or 4 people. They'd all be related. They'd be like family. There'd be like 3 houses in a row. They'd have all of them. Mostly they got it through, I don't know, I think some of the patriarchs of those families were the people who, if you ever saw Atomic Cafe, they were the people who marched off into the mushroom cloud, and there'd be the sergeant up there saying, okay, now you'll notice that the mushroom cloud is the most beautiful explosion you've ever seen, and, you know, march into the radiation. And so I think a lot of them, at least to start off with, had these kind of things where the army would take care of them. But, you know, you can't allow that kind of a mistake to go too long.
All this finally be over, and I could, at last, be still. And you know the biggest bitch of all? Not only do they not know what's wrong with me, they won't even try to find out. All because they're afraid they won't get paid for it. Really makes you wonder. Really makes you look at the phrase, the price of human life.
Camels. Nice critters or a menace to society? Well, I personally take the view that they're nice critters. Now I know that there's been quite the controversy. Some people side with camels being our friends, and some people side with them being hostile space aliens, but really, you know, camels are in fact nice critters. Some of my best friends are camels. And being related, in fact, to a number of camels, I would really hesitate to discriminate against them. And on top of all of the nice things that you could say about camels, there's fucking Joe Camel. I mean, it doesn't get any more American than that. Joe Camel. I mean, think of all the things that Joe Camel has done for you. Okay? Now, and of course the product that Joe Camel pushes, Joe Camel cigarettes, they killed my grandmother, and you know, well, what can be said about that? I'm sure Joe, as a camel, didn't really personally have anything to do with that. I mean, he's a camel, you know, and a lot of our camel friends don't speak English, so we can't really hold too much against them. Now, one thing that I would say about camels is that they should be required in this day and age to learn English. Now, I'm not one of these people that think that just any old language will get you by jiggies. No, I think that we should all, you know, English is this country's language of commerce, etc. So we should be teaching the camels to speak English. So if there are any camels in your neighborhood, I say that you put a Glock up against their temple and force them to speak English.
Oh, fuck!
That's what I say. And that's what you do for a camel if you really love them. But anyway, it brings me back to my original point. Camels are nice critters. Think of all the wonderful things that they've done for us. Whether dromedary or your other types of camels, you know, I think they're just wonderful. They're a wonderful symbol of our nation. And if one moves in next door to you, you should be nice. Don't call the Klan. Don't be a jerk. Camels are your buddies. So, having said that, and I think that you should go out and hire a dozen illegal camels to swab your bathroom floor with their tongues. At any rate, here's wishing you heaps and tons of camel unity.
Now, you're asking me, who do I look to? Who will be the hero that will sport this look? There's only one man, and one man, he's out there. He's not a quiet man. He's not a smart man. He's not a quick man. He's not a very good actor. He's muscular. He's blonde. He's balding. He wears a headband. He's been in WrestleMania 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6! It's 6! And that's right. He is the one who's going to sport it. He is the new Messiah, Hulk Hogan. That's right. Hulk is the man who needs to set himself on fire. I think he needs to lay out. No, I don't think, damn well I know. He needs to put the tires around himself, just like that beautiful Buddhist guy in that picture. You know the one I'm talking about? And sit in the middle of it cross-legged, dump gasoline over himself, and light himself up. And just before he burns completely out of recognition, before his eyeballs explode out of his head, before he becomes completely hideous, someone needs to hit him with a fire extinguisher, and then with a few little sprickets of hair left, and black skin and bubbling flesh, he needs to wrap himself in bandages, mostly around the groin area, but also across his nipples, and parade himself and become the great Greek American god, our Messiah of fashion.
So, anyway, there's like, I don't know. I recently joined the Republican Party, and I started voting Republican. No, I didn't. I did, but then I went to a third-party candidate. And because the Republicans and Democrats didn't offer anything worth a holy crap to vote for. And so I went third party. I'm part of many different parties, really, but I went from socialist to the Pluck Chicken Party to the, so anyway, you know, earwax. And so, you ever thought about that little tag on the back of your Levi's? And there's, it's got a life too, you know. And so, and Briz, and you know, words not said often enough. Serendipity, entrails, effluvium. Filth and effluvium, that's what's in your heart, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, bring it on down. Filth and effluvium.
Filth and effluvium. We got plenty of it here. I'm loosely affiliated with the Abbey of the Lemur, but before that, I was with Mussolini. And you know, Mussolini, there's a hell of a guy for you. Mussolini and I used to cook Thanksgiving turkeys together, and he'd sit there stuffing them full of confetti. And he thought that was real funny, and we'd just blow up the turkeys and confetti would go everywhere. And that's the kind of guy Mussolini was. He just thought that stuff was good for laughs. And you ever stuffed a turkey with a chihuahua? It's kind of hard to cram it up there with your boot, but you know, you can keep trying. And eventually you'll get that little bastard in there. And you bake at 325 for approximately 4 hours, or until the chihuahua stops moving. And then you can serve it. And you know, you take what the hell are them toothpicks? You take toothpicks, and you take little hunks of Spam, and you skewer it into the turkey, and the chihuahua is going, because his head's still 325 degrees stuffed inside the cavity of the turkey, you know, and he's not feeling so hot. He's feeling really hot, but anyway, you know, he starts making, that's when it's time to serve the turkey bird. And so anyway, and you pull out the chihuahua, and he's pretty red, and he's pretty unhappy, you know, but it's a holiday tradition, you just have to, and it's the law. And so you have chihuahua and all this stuff going on, lampshade, and milkmaid. There's you can put caramels in there, and you can stuff the caramels where the turkey's eyes used to be, and then you can take the chihuahua paws and you can put them on a skewer, and you can have pot kebabs. Those are good. Old holiday food. My grandma used to make the best pot kebabs, you know, and everybody says their old grandma's cooking was the best, but mine really was. And, you know, that was back before she died of chlamydia. And so we have, you know, there is so much stuff going on this holiday season, like fireworks and geraniums. And there's I think a Tori Wells video in there somewhere. And so anyway, there's lots and lots of animals awaiting your interaction. So I think that it would be best to probably start summing it up by talking about the little red tag on the back of Levi's and dandruff. And you know how you get dandruff and everything, because you eat some unpopped kernels of popcorn and then you step out in the heat. And then it starts going and it comes up right through your brain and through your scalp, and then people see the white, and that's how you get dandruff. And also, ocular orbits. And so, anyway, having said to you these words about vacuum cleaners and how to choose the right one, I'd like to bid you good night. And just remember, Mussolini loves you, and be sure to use be sure to use some cooking spray on your non-stick pans. And until then, it's Burton Jones, wishing you an eternity in hell. See ya!
Meanwhile, I'm losing my sight, my hearing, my sense of taste, my sense of balance, my sanity. And all that anyone is willing to do for me is say, there's nothing worth worrying about. Life is a bitch. Yeah, and then you die. Come on, cheer up. Life is great. A great fucking mess, maybe. So fuck it before it fucks you. I've been bent over for so long now. I'm pretty sure I'd be disoriented if I tried to stand up straight. Now I ask, where in there am I supposed to be cheerful? Because I'm alive? This is not life. This is nothing like life. Life is knowing that tomorrow you have a job you can go to. Life is knowing that when you come home, you have something to come home to. Life is having a home, whether it be a castle or a cardboard box. Life is knowing that someone gives a damn about you and won't run when they don't get their way. Life is having someone out there who loves you for who you are, not what you can give them. Life is being able to walk across the backyard without tripping over your own feet, or reading a book without getting dizzy because your head keeps moving, or being able to hold a conversation online without your hands hitting the wrong keys no matter how hard you try. Life is hoping that the next best thing isn't also the last thing you would ever do. Life is not being paranoid about every time you go out being ridiculed because people refuse to understand that things go wrong with the human body, that it isn't catching, and therefore walk on the other side of the outfit. So again, I ask you, where in there am I supposed to be cheerful? Can you tell me? Because I'm looking for some cheer right now.
But you looked in their houses and, you know, I mean, when you went by their homes, it's like the grass was all overgrown and, you know, they'd be outside, like I said, you know, kind of soldering fake arms onto themselves and not doing it terribly well, you know, just a bunch of metal rods and rusty pulleys or whatever that wouldn't really work. And, you know, after a while, there was this mass exodus. I don't know, like some kind of an exodus into the wilderness or whatever, but they all decided that their days were numbered and they had to get the hell out of Dodge fast. And I just remember these people just gobbling and yodeling to their kids, and they'd all just have their belongings in backpacks and, you know, tie up rags with their clothes and everything, and they'd just all be heading out of town on foot. And I think me and Billy broke into one of their houses once, and, you know, the whole place was just encrusted in mildew. I don't know, just all these old pictures of old family members, and most of them looked alright, but it'd be like just a big mess in the kitchen, you know, dead dog lying under the table. It had been dead for quite some time and it stunk. But, you know, they really couldn't take care of themselves terribly well. But, you know, I mean, after a while, they were all just being hunted, gunned down by agents or whatever, you know. And a lot of folks in the neighborhood said good riddance, you know, who needs them? You know, they were human beings. They, you know, they're human beings who deserve to live like everyone else, and people are all just making fun of the way they talk and all that. You know, and it's kind of like, you know, I mean, I don't know. Just all these historical injustices that just end up getting kind of swept under the rug. You know, happy, happy, happy in America.